Let's go now to Britain, where gangs are continuing their week of riots and looting. It's of course dominating headlines in the UK, especially the question of whether the police response was swift and effective enough. The British government's now threatening a major law and order crackdown, but critics say it's too little too late, especially because there are already plans afoot to cut millions of dollars from police funding in the next few years. Our London correspondent, Philip Williams, has gone back to the suburb where the unrest began, and he filed this report.
When we see the disgusting sight of an injured young man with people pretending to help him while they are robbing him, it is clear there are things that are badly wrong in our society.
They've got no respect for us, they're rude. I've got no respect for them, that's why, and I wonder why youth go mad.
It's only 5 days since any British sense of security and cohesion has been shattered. Criminal opportunism or the wages of social injustice. The views on the causes are deeply divided. But what everyone shares here is the fear, especially in the poor areas hardest hit, like Tottenham in North London.
Yeah, I get quite scared because I don't know when it's going to come round the corner from us and we don't have anywhere else to go if our house gets burnt down.
This is where it all started last Saturday night. A protest over the shooting death by police of a local got out of hand, and before you knew it, this street was engulfed in flames. There were protesters up and down here and looting, and that's spread across the country. Now it's quiet now, as you can see, the streets are blocked off, but just in case, there are a lot of police on standby. According to some locals, the police are part of the problem. Raymond Ndukwe witnessed the rioting in Tottenham. He says it's a result of pent-up anger over police stop and search powers.
They just expect you, because you're black and you're from Tottenham, they expect you to have weapons and stuff, so they don't really trust you.
Your mates that were involved in this, how does smashing up a shop help that?
Yeah, that didn't have anything to do. I don't know what was going through their minds when they did that.
Local high school teacher Penny Anthony says she understands some of the frustrations. Her sons are constantly stopped and searched by police, but she believes the problems go much deeper than that.
The youngsters who trash the area don't feel as though they own it, they haven't got a stake in it at all, so I think for them it wasn't as though they were trashing their own area, they were trashing something alien to them. I think we can all say what's gone wrong. I mean, I think we've all heard the arguments that, to do with unemployment, the cuts and what have you. But I think what's really gone wrong is that their families have really, the parents haven't really been parenting properly. Also, I think as teachers, we're not allowed to discipline children.
A lack of discipline, poor parenting, poverty and powerlessness, all given as reasons, many would say excuses, for the mayhem that's blighting Britain. At Broadwater Farm Community Centre, on one of Tottenham's poorest estates, the music hasn't stopped, but instead of keeping young people busy until 10 p.m, it's closing at 4 each day because of the insecurity.
Who's next? Have they changed over? Have they been on it?
Iana McIntosh is a volunteer carer. She condemns the violence, but at the same time she says she understands the frustrations fueling it.
I have 2 sons of my own. They've looked for work endlessly. They cannot work. My daughter has 2 children. She's worried about in the next 4 to 5 years when her son reaches 7. What's she going to do? Because there's no work. Where's she going to put her son? Yet there is no future for the kids. If they do not start listening and stop using threats and telling them what they're going to do and where they're going to lock them, where they're going to put them, we have to find a way to work with them.
Now, as a mother, how do you feel about all that?
I'm frightened.
Just moments after this interview, her youngest daughter, China, receives a threatening text.
Someone sent to me, black people are truly awful, burning people out their homes.
Where's that sort of terrible prejudice coming from? Where's that terrible message coming from?
I don't know, it's going round, I think.
How does that make you feel when you get a message like that out of the blue?
Well, I just feel like, because they don't know what's going on, they might not, and it's not just black people.
Already, members of the far-right English Defence League have been seen joining vigilante groups. It's feared the violence may be used to incite racial hatred. And while the rioting has been roundly condemned by just about everyone, there are a few who think this is a legitimate reaction by an underclass.
I think it's happened because we have underprivileged youths and we have a lot of haves and have-nots, and they're showing their opinions. I think it's a good thing.
A good thing?
I do.
That's a very controversial view.
No, it's not controversial.
Well, not many people
No,
are...
if you don't from the section of society I'm from, you don't think it's controversial. You know what I mean? It's like it's a lot of people with businesses and full-time jobs that are talking at the moment. You don't really hear from the underclasses, do you?
If this is a political or social message, it's seriously missed its target. The vast majority here see the violence as opportunistic thuggery, and there's no sympathy for the perpetrators. And yet, undeniably, something has gone seriously awry in British society, where some appear so disconnected they can attack their own communities, where the bonds and boundaries have simply disappeared.
Those issues are obviously going to be preoccupying Britain for a long time. Phil Williams there on the streets of Tottenham.